Welcome back to another episode of Strife's Talking Points. Today I'm going to go over briefly probably not briefly, the officer-involved shooting in Memphis and the subsequent riot after the fact. Yesterday, apparently, federal marshals attempted to serve a warrant on a man who had multiple warrants, and again, this is the U.S. Marshals serving it. Gulf Coast Region Fugitive Task Force tried to take a man into custody. When the officers approached the man, law enforcement officials said he was getting into his car in the Frayser community in northern Memphis. When officers tried to stop the man, who was wanted on multiple warrants, he reportedly rammed his vehicle into the officers' vehicles multiple times before exiting with a weapon, according to the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, which is investigating the case. Officers fired, striking and killing the individual. And after that, as the news broke, story came out, you see here pictured Frayser community residents taunt authorities as protesters take to streets in anger over the shooting of a youth identified by family members as Brandon Weber by U.S. Marshals earlier this evening, Wednesday, June 12, 2019. Dozens of angry protesters clashed with police, throwing rocks and tree limbs until the police broke them up with tear gas, which is what you see here kind of pictured above. Now I'm going to skip to earlier in the day. These are the initial pictures of the police presence out to kind of, I guess, calm. I'm not sure what happened to precede this as far as the riots or the riot. However, at night, you clearly see the police out, people meandering around. This is Luke Jones. He is one of the reporter at WREG TV, 3 on your side. He was out trying to report, cover the information. You see here he's standing back. This is one of the main areas where they were getting rocks thrown at them. And you can see there's debris in front of them. You can see stuff flying across. Here's a better picture. Police now have shields. Hearing them tell the crowd to disperse over loudspeakers. You see all the rocks and stuff. You see the police have their riot shields up trying to protect them. And then you have his tweet here 11 hours ago, shortly after this. Had to change locations. Guy ran up, hit me in the side of the head, and knocked me to the ground. Just left the hospital. All was well, only a concussion. Thanks for your well wishes. Now, in one of the reports here, this I believe is from Heavy. Heavy had some pretty interesting stuff because, of course, they went and looked up the different information. They've, of course, anytime this happens, they always find images of the offender. Of course, they have pictures with guns. Guns are perfectly legal in the country so long as you're not a felon and blocked from owning them. Of course, information will come out very quickly whether or not he was licensed to have these weapons. And one of the things I saw was that he was exiting with a rifle, and I did see that image here. I'm sorry I lost it, because in one of the reports it does say he had a rifle, and you'll see him with I don't know exactly what that is. It does look to be a semi-automatic little rifle of some kind. You see these all the time. The most popular that I've ever seen is the AR-15. I do not believe that's what that is. From the poor quality of the image, I really can't tell. But that is, I think, the weapon they're going to say that he was involved with. The TBI didn't release his name of the suspect. However, family members did, and then it was also echoed by Community Commissioner Tammy Sawyer, who was at the scene, retweeted a tweet also identifying the victim as Weber. Now, she is a candidate, a Ebony Mag writer, I believe, contributor. She's also a CNN opinion contributor. And where is it at? Here's her tweet. Riot distracts and distances people from the depth of what's occurring, and allows them to turn their backs on the community, expressing hurt. I'm done for the night before my team tries to disable my account. but these things need to be said. Now we're going to go through some of her stuff here. Remember, this is the community commissioner. Most people won't know where Frayser is. It's sort of on the northern end of Memphis, right here across the river. This is considered Frayser, up through here. Now, I actually lived in Memphis. I lived over in this area, Germantown, Collierville. I lived on this edge out here up through Cordova, right off this Highway 177 right there. And as you go kind of up Poplar into town, yeah, I lived there. No, right there. It's a decent city. Overall, I enjoyed living there, but you know, it's one of the places that you've been. Just no need to really kind of go back. Now, riot distracts from and distances people from the depth of what's occurring. Now, we got to read these in order, which always. The rain is the only reason tear gas didn't permeate the entire neighborhood. I can't still believe that move was made. As rioters, protesters are throwing rocks at police are not going to openly walk out and start beating people. They will try to disperse them with the least lethal method possible, which is generally tear gas. Doesn't kill anyone, does make you feel sick, does make you leave. If your windows and doors are shut up, it won't permeate into the home too badly, I don't believe. Every life lost should matter, every single one. How many times will this be okay? It cannot continue to be. Now, if you ram a police vehicle, exit with a weapon, and the police shoot you, and one of the reports does say that he was shooting at police first, and this is going to be from CNN real quick. The man reportedly rammed his vehicle in the car multiple times, exited with a weapon. The officers then fired, striking. No officers were injured there. However, there have been 24 injuries since then. Everyone is parroting the same issue here. The man reportedly rammed his vehicle into the officer's vehicle multiple times, apparently trying to escape. And then he got out of the vehicle with a weapon, and they opened fire. In addition to the 24 officers wounded, 2 journalists were also wounded. One of them being Luke Jones here. Let me be clear that aggression shown towards our officers and deputies tonight was unwarranted, at least it said. Strickland said. The Memphis PD did not shoot the man. It was U.S. Marshals serving their warrant. The Memphis police was there in support of them. So they're not directly responsible. It was, it's U.S. Marshals. Now, that doesn't make a police shooting any better. However, it was basically of course, after this, all the attacks and stuff goes towards the police. You see some police in the background, person on the phone, and some damage to one of the vehicles. Strickland. But he lauded the compromise and composure of the officers as they became targets of the attack. I was very proud of our first responders, the mayor said. I'm impressed by their professionalism and incredible restraint as they endured concrete rocks being thrown at them, people spitting at them. This man here is in front of them, of course, taunting. They're cussing, throwing things. This whole time, they're just being told to disperse. And yeah, this stuff is everywhere right now. And one of the things you keep seeing is, as Tammy Sawyer here is pointing out, context changes everything. So you can't start your story at, they used tear gas because someone threw a rock. You have to start at 300 people filled the street because one of their own was murdered. Shooting at police and ramming your car into police and then getting out with a gun will get you shot. It will get anyone shot. Everyone knows this. It is a very much a disservice to the public, to any group of people, to believe that you can ram your car into police, jump out with a gun, and then you getting shot is not going to happen. That is a cause and effect. Seems to be, I'd like to see the footage, which is where I'll make my final opinion. But if he did these things, then of course the police are going to shoot. And police don't shoot once or twice. There's a group of police, they'll shoot together, all at the same target, which is why you see the dozens of hits, 24 hits, I believe. Then a few people through a rock, then there's tear gas. If you organize directly across from the police and you start throwing rocks, spitting on them, insulting them, you're going to get tear gassed. I believe that Tammy Sawyer will try and use this as a way to push her own self forward, and I would expect to see her on CNN tonight as an opinion contributor talking about how this is a horrible thing the police did, but overall, it seems that a wanted man rammed a police car, got out, shot at police, or got out of his car with a gun and was shot by police. Sorry. Disregard my shooting. I've only seen that in one story. And there is no corroboration between the other articles I've read. And that is my fault for restating that when it isn't clear. Yeah. This is the quote now that I've been seeing most everywhere. I'm sorry, this is something that I just woke up. This is the best news. And here's an interesting thing. This is also Tammy Sawyer's tweet. In Frayser last night, Brandon Weber was shot 16 to 20 times in his family's front yard on the same day as the Pulse nightclub shooting anniversary. Pulse nightclub was an attack on gays in Miami, and yes, over time things will occur on the same day. I don't see any correlation between these two. Sawyer said in a tweet, and on the same day the DA chose not to charge another police officer with murdering a civilian. Now, they go through her tweets here pretty well, but it's very difficult for me as a outsider to look at this situation and hear that, you know, you've got people bashing police cars with chairs. You got the police, of course, on the other side over there, smashing windows. I do believe very quickly you will see a lot of arrests made of these rioters, and it will go down pretty quick. However, who knows? This could be another Ferguson, where you'll see a second night of protest. You'll see the different media groups move in and push this false narrative of, you know, unrestrained police shootings of young black men, when it's generally, anytime this happened, it's generally involved an assault on the officer, a gun coming into play. Of course, this one is ramming of a vehicle. However, as always, I restrict final judgments on any of this until after I see the police video. And a final note on this story, I'd like to show you this. This is causes of death in the U.S. from what Americans die from and what they search on Google, blah, blah, blah. Heart disease and cancer are 60% of all death in the U.S. Homicide is 0.09. Being killed in any type of homicide is one of the, well, other than terrorism, less than 0.01%. This is not what you see people dying from. It's not reality. However, what's reported on by all media types, it's 23%. Because it sells. It crafts the narrative that this is something that happens all the time. There are 300 plus million people in the U.S., and to hear of a death once a month, every couple of weeks about something like this still doesn't mean it's a huge thing. However, the narrative that's been pushed is that how many times will this be okay to even continue? And then you see some pushback. It's never okay to ram police cars or exit your car with a weapon. Well, then, if it's mayor candidate, I would advise every business looking to move to Memphis. Oh, there are people going after her. Okay. So, yeah. Apparently this isn't playing well in Memphis overall. But hey, that's where we are in the world. So, thank you all for listening. Please like, share, comment. Feel free to dislike the video. I would just like to know what you guys think about it. Hope you have a wonderful day, and this will probably be covered again tonight once more information comes out. And generally, I think we'll see the marshal's video if they do the same as normal city and state police from various organizations, where they release the police video within 24 to 48 hours so that you can see what's going on. Thank you all. Have a wonderful day.